Podcast is BYOT. Bring your own tacos.
Dick swinging.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast
We can say fuck.
with Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
I don't care, I've been smoking, this is cool. That's a decent amount of sausage. This man needs a doctor! Yeah, I just hope they're tasty. What's up with these clowns, man? Cut the lights and went through people's pockets. Don't you point that at each other. Let them smoke a little. You need to step it up to that point. We're not gonna lead with the. We're not gonna lead with that.
When I went to pick up weed while in a sketchy neighborhood in Cape Town, South Africa, the help of my cab driving African friend Harry. We were staying in South Africa in a really nice, more wealthy spot, maybe even a touristy spot, I guess you could say, 20 or 30 minutes outside of the city, along this stretch of beach. And on the beach, there were all these dudes trying to sell weed to people that looked like me, with long hair and beards, that sort of thing. And I bought some for very cheap, and it was terrible. It was maybe the worst weed that I've ever seen, now that I think about it. It was dark brown, and there was tons of stems and seeds. It tasted really, really strange. So I couldn't deal with that. Could not deal.
Full of spider mites.
Yeah, who knows, man? Who knows what's in that stuff? So at a certain point, do they have spider mites in South Africa? That's a great question.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, some type of fucked up version.
Just a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, Africanized spider mites.
They feed on the bud, and then they come for you.
Come at your lungs, yeah. So at a certain point, I catch a cab up the hill, and my cab driver was this guy named Harry. And Harry was an African dude who was he was just freaking hilarious, man. And he was super nice. And we got to talking for a while and figured I could trust him at a certain point. So by the end of the cab ride, I was like, fuck it. And I just asked him, you know where I can get some weed? You know any spots where I can get some weed? And he didn't even smoke, but he was like, yeah, man, I think I can do that. He was a little hesitant at first, but then he was cool. And the fact that he went out of his way to get me illegal drugs shows how cool this dude was. So he was going to get it from in town. I gave him some money. I'm going to meet back the next day at the cab spot. Went back the next day. He wasn't there. I was like, oh, fuck. Probably took the money and ran. Not much cash, but I was, a little upset. But sure enough, he comes back the day after with my money. And he's like, I'll try to do my best impersonation of Harry. But he's like, hey, California, I went to pick that up for you, but it was shit, man. It was shit. So he called me California because he knew I was from California. And, he told me he was going to go pick up from a different guy in town. And he ended up asking me if I wanted to come with him. And I was apprehensive at first because Cape Town is not a super safe city. And I would probably be the only white dude around for a while in that neighborhood. But it was the middle of the day and I couldn't pass up the experience. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And on the way over, he starts talking about his girlfriend. And we get into this hilarious conversation about his relationship struggles. And there's a bit of a language barrier probably, especially because of my American accent. But two funny things about the way South Africans talk. I'll try to wrap this up, but the first thing that's funny is their traditional greeting is, how's it? As in, how is it? As in, how is it going? So they're like, how's it? How's it, California?
Oh,
it's like, yeah, it's going good, Harry. How are you doing, man? I'm good. And the other funny thing is, instead of saying or yeah, I think I'll do that, they go, I don't know, California. It's like this really strange way. Yeah, it's great. It's almost like I don't know, man. It's very very
like
strange.
A goat demon inside him, fucking trying to come out.
Exactly, man.
Words.
But a very jovial one. So
that's funny.
He goes, she's mad at me, man, because his girlfriend mad at me, man, because I don't give her good enough present. But when my birthday comes, she forgot completely. I said, Harry, dude, this girl's no good for you, man. So it was this hilarious conversation. And anyways, we wind up into this neighborhood. It's a much poorer area. And it's this weird little alley. And he's like, all right, wait here. He'll run inside. So I'm sitting alone by a cab in South Africa in Cape Town, getting some weird looks by passersby. Like, okay, it's a little sketchy, but yeah, it was good. Eventually he came out with some better weed, still low quality. I tipped him real good. But the real punchline was when he dropped me back off at the touristy part of town. The last thing he said to me, it's hilarious, I'll never forget it. He said, be careful with that shit, California. It'll make you jump into the sea. So that's like that's my
It'll
go-to.
burn you up. You gotta cool down,
That sounds like a personal experience sort of thing, or at least he's seen someone do that.
Totally seen someone do that. So that's Harry, the South African cab driver. So I hope that story was entertaining enough for the slackers.
Damn, Harry. Harry should be on the show too, man.
Shout out to Harry. I told him, man, hit me up. Come out to California.
I don't know how many South African listeners we have, but if you see Harry, tell him what's up.
Yeah,
we're
man.
not jumping in the sea. It's not too far from me, but I've been avoiding it lately.
For sure. Shout out to Harry. Shout out to Harry for sure.
Oh man, that was great.
That's a great way to start off the special episode 420. Well, not really episode 420, but 420 special.
Woo!
Slacker Podcast.
Hell yeah.
As always, I'm Matthew.
I'm Jesse.
And I'm Jordan River. Thanks for having me, Matt and Jesse. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Absolutely.
We appreciate you showing up, man.
Yeah, man.
Happy to have
This is awesome. Yeah. First cannabis-related guest we've had on.
Oh, really?
Slacker.
Nice, because I know you guys mention it a lot, but you haven't had a full-time grower.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying to reach out to like a grower or someone who is like well known on the subject of growing. And actually, somewhere in Reddit, I believe I got a suggestion to check out your podcast.
No way! That's so awesome.
Yeah, I was reaching out to our trees, our podcasts, everything I could, like weed or podcast related, and your podcast name came up.
Wow.
That's Growcast for all the listeners out there.
That's right.
We'll get
Growcast.
into that a little bit later. To start off, let's talk about you, Jordan.
Sure, man. Let's hear it.
What
Who are you, Jordan?
What is the enigma that is Jordan?
No, man. I'm a regular old dude. I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, and 20 years old. I wasn't happy with my job or kind of where I was at, and I knew my cousin out in California, and I knew he was in the grow scene, and I just said fuck it, and I moved from Chicago straight out to California. And shortly thereafter started growing and totally fell in love with it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so
going from somewhere where it's highly illegal to going somewhere free.
Yeah, that's exactly
getting
right.
into the industry, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you have the idea to get into the industry when you were heading that way?
Yeah, I mean, before I even left, I was seeing these Time magazine. It was 2010, so front page of Time magazine was big pot plant saying this is the new industry. Yeah. And I'm like, man,
the
I got
gold rush.
Yeah, totally, the green rush.
Green rush.
So I got out there and hooked up with my cousin, who happened to have served in Afghanistan with a really knowledgeable grower, and I hooked up with him. It was this weird chain of events, and it led me to Humboldt County and the best garden shop in the world, Bayside Garden Supply. Love those guys, and they hooked me up, man. Started growing from there.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah,
That's,
a lot of people talk about doing that kind of thing, and you're someone who went through with it,
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I was really, really lucky. I don't know what I would have done without those guys and just being accepted. It's hard to do what everyone wants to do, which is just move west and start growing weed. I mean, in the long run, I didn't even really come out ahead. I didn't move home with a bunch of cash. I just barely kept my head above water, and I was working with these guys who are so knowledgeable. So I always warn people, if you do want to go out west and start growing, be financially prepared and prepared for the long haul. Because I honestly, I just got lucky, man.
Now back in Chi-Town, what got you into like the idea, like I want to grow specifically? It was just the Time magazine stuff, or were you like hanging out with your friends after high school?
Yeah,
smoking a little bit of greenery.
Oh, I just loved weed. I've loved weed since I was a teenager, and I've just always been super interested in it. I was the one who cared about where'd this come from, what's this, what's that, and I also did some gardening, so I understood, plants somewhat. Yeah, so I don't know. I just kind of got the theory, and I was walking down the streets of Chicago with my parents actually. And I was like, I might just want to move to California and grow weed. And my parents are fucking awesome, so they supported me 100%.
Wow.
And it was just, that's history, baby. I love it. I was super lucky.
That's so cool.
Amazing.
Now, when you were when you're working in the industry, now how does it work? Do you work for a place that you like present the bud like once you've harvested to different like distributors, or like how does that work?
Well, that's the thing. The hardest part about going out to grow, just kind of off the cuff there without any hookups, is the real problem is letting go of the stuff. In Humboldt County, especially in Eureka, everybody had it. It was flush with weed, so people would sit on these pounds and pounds and not be able to get rid of it. And obviously that was one of the struggles that I hit. So what ends up happening is because it's not legal enough, or isn't even legal now, even though that proposition passed, we still have a year. People sold it illegally. It all got shipped east as it grew older. People sold it, shipped it east. But I was also lucky enough, again, luck would have it, a dispensary right around the corner from the spot that I was growing. Made really good friends with the guy, Nate, and he is familiar with Bayside Garden Supply as well. Shout out to Nate. But I got to sell straight to a dispensary for a good price to help sick people. So again, I got really lucky there. But getting rid of it's hard, man. To answer your question, that's maybe the hardest part. Even if you do grow great weed, it's really hard to let that stuff go, especially if you're trying to do it legitimately.
Well, it's got a shelf life too.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, if you leave cannabis unvacuum sealed for a year, it will be significantly worse than it was the last year. Even month by month, it starts to degrade as soon as you cut it off the plant. Truthfully, technically.
So when you're going through your parents' boxes from the 70s and you find that bud, better be vacuum sealed before you start packing it in the bowl.
That's rough. You're gonna taste it when you light that thing up.
I'm almost imagining that's like the situation up in Humboldt is like one of those mattress supply stores where they're like, we're just giving it away. We have an overstock of weed. We got eighths. We got quarters.
That's exactly right, man.
Half pounds and plants, like.
It's true, and I come from suburbia outside of Chicago, and you can literally see a mattress firm on every corner. So if you just switch those to grow spots, you'd be exactly right. They say that 1 in 3 houses are grow spots in Eureka. I don't know how accurate that is, but 1 in 3 houses have a grow going on in them is the underground rumor.
And I mean, with California law the way it is now, as long as you're medical, from what I understand, you can have a certain amount of plants.
Yeah, it's still really blurry. Depends on what city you're in. If you're inside the city of Eureka or if you're outside in the county, it's really blurry, but people generally just leave you alone. It's more of an unspoken thing. As long as you're not causing trouble, I mean, they're everywhere, man. You're walking down the street, just a huge waft of skunk just wafting down the street. It's just like nothing, man. That's just called a Tuesday, you know?
Right. That's crazy. I mean, I'm down in Monterey, so I'm more central California.
Oh, damn. I love Monterey, dude.
Yeah, it's nice. I moved out here from New York about almost 3 years ago now. And I've enjoyed it, and I've definitely one of the first things I did when I got to California was get my medical card. So I feel like I got to go up and check out your area, see like if the pricing's any different in terms of the dispensaries.
That's a good question. I haven't been to a dispensary in a while. I'm not sure what the prices are looking like, but generally, if you're letting go of it in Eureka, it's in Eureka. If you know a grower, if you just know people, it's basically free, man. People are throwing it around like crazy. People are trying to let go of pounds of indoor for $2,000, $1,900, even $1,800 for a pound. So, yeah, the price has just dropped, and outdoor is getting so much better. It's shutting down the indoor growers. But it's all progress one way or another, you know?
I was going to say, how much of this backup is related to, you know, the lack of federal momentum on legalizing? Like, I feel like if the restrictions weren't there and, you know, they could work with the banks, do all that kind of stuff, they could move this product a hell of a lot faster.
Yeah, that could definitely be the case, especially in maybe bigger industry areas like Colorado is now. But I'll tell you, it's just really, really blurry, and it's more profitable to let go of your stuff illegally. And as long as it is that way, it's going to be shipped out east. That's just what they do.
Matt, you're getting some of that, bud.
Oh, without a doubt, man.
New York is a pretty big spot, but yeah, I think that legalizing it would certainly help. But the interesting thing is all the growers went and voted no on Proposition 64. Was it 46 or 64? That proposition, all the growers
64, I believe.
A lot of the growers went out and voted no on that, so the price would stay high because it's illegal. Continue to, you know, sell it in the state illegally or in Nevada or something like that. So there's weird politics at play there.
With business, it makes sense that they would, you know, want to protect their assets.
Yeah, totally. And these growers are more underground in Humboldt County. It's a much kind of shadier scene than a Colorado where people are making legitimate industries out of it.
It's shady up in those redwoods.
Yeah, it is, man. They provide a lot of shade to do some covert grows for sure.
I was going to say, no, going back into your experience in the industry, I was wondering, did you just stay in the growing field? Did you ever go into production of maybe concentrates or CBDs, like anything specific?
I played around. I know how to do a great extract. You can go to growcastpodcast.com and check out the secret recipes. There's a recipe on making super simple canna butter and super simple chocolates out of that canna butter.
I listened to those. They had my mouth watering, I have to say.
Yeah, so those are pretty great recipes. I toyed around, but no, I didn't deal anything. I didn't, sell extracts or anything like that. I knew some masters in the field out there, but I didn't get into that myself at all.
Just loved creating life. I don't blame you.
It's great, man. Those ladies out there, you see a whole field of them out there just waiting for you, stinking up the room. There's something magical about it. It's magical.
Now, getting into your podcast, which is how we got in contact with you and got you on the show here. Growcast.
That's the one.
When did it start? And what? Give the people a description of it.
Okay. Growcast was originally just a podcast about growing. Me and my buddy Wolfman, who worked at Bayside Garden Supply, and he was a great guy. Is a great guy. He didn't pass. No.
I was gonna say I've heard him on the show before, so I thought he was still around.
Yeah, he is still around. Wolfman. We would get together to hang out, and the topic would always turn to growing. Even when we were like, all right, man, we're just gonna smoke and hang out, no grow talk. Always turn to growing. So one day I was like, we got to turn on a mic, man. All this stuff that we're solving the world's problems here. We got to turn on a mic and not let this shit go to waste. So that's how
Sounds
Growcast...
familiar, Matt.
Yeah. The genius of the slackers cannot be denied.
Well, thank you.
So yeah, me and Wolfman started it, and it was about growing, and eventually I was like, I want to talk about some other stuff about cannabis, so I opened it up. It's kind of a talk show, kind of a grow show, but it's all about cannabis, baby. That's what it's all about. And it got started. Go ahead. Sorry.
I wanted to say, I got confused when we first got in contact with you. There is another Growcast, people. Don't be confused. You want to look for Growcast, the official cannabis podcast.
That's exactly right. Thankfully,
I didn't realize
I
that.
first was like, what the hell is going on here? This is not cannabis related at all. And it was just like about life growth and like ridiculousness. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Went back to the store. And then I found Jordan's podcast.
I don't know why they still come up above me. I got the cannabis logo to kind of stand out. But those Growcast guys, that podcast is... I thought it was dead, but then they released an episode a couple months out. I got to contact iTunes or something, man. I got to show up first. So that's a personal development podcast. So skip that shit. Go straight to the purple cannabis leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what I looked for, was the cannabis leaf on it.
So, yeah, there is another Growcast. I was hoping that podcast died, but yeah, that's that.
Back to your Growcast.
Right. So let's see. I started it before I left Humboldt County in 2014, released it a year or two ago. So, it's been going pretty strong. There was a long period before it got up on iTunes and became Growcast as you know it. But, about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I started this idea, started recording with Wolfman.
Nice. Yeah, and I've heard Wolfman on the show a couple of times. I've also heard Roscoe, I believe.
Yes. Wolfman worked at that garden shop for 10 years, maybe even over that, and grew for 10 years. He is maybe the most knowledgeable person when it comes to growing cannabis that I know. Roscoe is actually just a guy that I know. I'm lucky enough to know these interesting people, and he's an actual chemist. And that dude is fucking smart. He's a certified genius. Wolfman knows how to do it. Roscoe knows why to do it.
Okay. So you got the science and the gardener.
That's right.
Portion.
Yeah, exactly. So I love having Roscoe on. That guy's smart as fuck.
You guys are like a growing Justice League or something.
That's right, dude. That's exactly right.
Yeah, the episode you had about hallucinogens with Roscoe was really fucking good, man.
Hallucinogenic History, that's one of my favorite episodes, if that's the one you're referring to.
I loved it. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Joan of Arc, high on LSD, shit like that.
Those history ones, I have to say, those are my favorite types.
Man, that makes me so happy. I really like to hear that because I think they might be my favorite as well. And it's hard to throw that into a show about growing and not know if people are going to be, like, turned off by it. Like, I don't want to learn history. What the fuck?
That shit's awesome.
It was interesting. You talked about it was the stoned Vikings and barbarians.
That's a great episode, man. I actually just released a new episode all about the cannabis timeline, like from the beginning of when we know cannabis to be introduced and up till now. And I'll tell you, those stoned Vikings and the high barbarians specifically that I refer to, they caused cannabis to explode all over the world, man. Those people were very, very interesting, murderous, pot-smoking raiders.
Oh my god.
Taking smoke baths and stuff.
Totally, yeah. It's really quite amazing, actually.
And I have to ask you, the bong that you drank.
Oh, yeah, man, the bong. We made that bong. B-H-A-N-G, ancient cannabis drink derived from cannabis extract. And it was good as fuck, man. It was a little complicated to make. Maybe if you're really good at it and you have all the stuff on hand, but it was a little complicated for us to make, but it was worth it. Delicious
It was interesting
stuff.
that you drank it on the show, and I liked how the reactions were.
Oh, yeah, had to. Patrick told us we had to do that on air.
Who was there with you
Patrick
for that episode?
Colhagen, yeah.
Patrick?
Another dude I've known since I was 15 years old. Just super
wow.
interesting, intelligent guy, filmmaker, and yeah, gotta have him on. He's funny as hell, man.
Yeah, his reactions where he's like, it's just people listening to us drink milk right now.
That's right. That's how you know the listeners love us, man. If they'll listen,
I was like, but it's great. I was sitting there laughing the entire time.
Absolutely. That's how you know you got true fans listening to you drink milk.
Yep, that's devotion right there.
Absolutely.
And actually, just today, I was flipping through, because whenever I start listening to someone's podcast, I like to listen to the earlier stuff and kind of work my way up. And I got to the interview you had with, I guess I'd call him marijuana celebrity Big Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. I got a hold of Big Mike just again through random connections. And he had me up to his marijuana mansion and got to record a podcast up there. It was pretty crazy. Really nice guy, kind of a controversial figure in the grow world. But as far as I know, I met the guy. He personally took me into his home. He took time out of his busy day to do my crappy little podcast and showed me around his property. So he's a nice guy as far as I can tell, man. And he's a venture capitalist more than a grower, and he's a good venture capitalist. He's rich as fuck, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it appears that way from social media.
I was going to say, I've seen a lot of his stuff on Instagram and like Facebook and other social media sites, and I couldn't really wrap my head around him because, you present a certain image to like try and draw people in.
Right.
But hearing you talk to him, I feel like I got a lot better idea of who he is as a person and what he's fighting for in terms of marijuana.
That's a great point. And I actually have another episode that I've been secretly keeping, which is in kind of an interview with him about his life and his upbringing, his biography. So if you want to get a peek more into that, stay tuned for Growcast. Obviously, a second interview with Big Mike. But he definitely puts on an air of a persona with all the strippers and, up in the camera, smiling and like all this stuff. He didn't act that way at all, man. And I think he even mentioned, I think he's trying to kind of segue into a more, I guess you could say, professional venture capitalist type situation. But yeah, he's smarter than he looks from those Instagram pictures, man. That's for sure.
Well, like you said, it presents a certain image. It's sort of like, I was looking at him as like the white bodybuilding Snoop Dogg.
Back on my Snoop Dogg shit again with the people, man. Finna show some love and smoke some dope.
Before I heard him talk on your podcast, and then he had like tons to say, and it was I came out of it a lot more knowledgeable on what was going on. So
yeah, I think that a lot of it might just kind of be funny. He might be doing that stuff to be funny and maybe to piss people off a little bit, because it does piss people off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely gonna raise some controversy.
Totally.
When you got stacks
jets.
of nugs.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Fucking sitting there with like ladies in bikinis all tattooed up.
Yep, that's right.
It reminds me of like a pot version of Dan Bilzerian.
Okay, right on. Yeah, I can see that.
But it
not
makes
as womanizing.
Sense. It makes sense though, because like the image, it's all about the image in terms of like getting people to recognize you these days on social media or any of those platforms.
Well, if there's someone you can recognize, it's Big Mike, dude. That's for sure.
Oh,
absolutely.
Sure, yeah.
So is that you said there's a second episode coming out?
There
at
is,
some point?
Yeah, I talked to him about just his upbringing and stuff. I believe I actually got him to shed a tear, which was one of my crowning achievements as a podcaster.
Oh wow!
Man!
So that
we got a Barbara Walters among us here.
Hell yeah, dude! I'll take that as a huge compliment. But I'll also tell you that guy's fucking big, man. He's huge. I'm 5'8", 5'7", and that dude was like towering over me.
Damn. Deserving of the big title.
Definitely big, dude.
It's not an ironic name.
It'd be funny if you went there and you were like, Big Mike was 4'6".
Yeah, dude. That's how it goes, isn't it? If someone's named Tiny, they're probably fucking huge. And if someone
you don't want to challenge anybody named Tiny to a fight if you don't see them firsthand.
Exactly right.
It's like, that motherfucker's not tiny. Guy's huge.
You know, the other giveaway is like the Mike Tyson voice. The lisp. Don't fuck with anyone who talks like this.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
Those are all dangerous people.
Because over the phone, you think you could take him.
Right.
You're like, this guy sounds like a jackass.
Then you get in the ring.
Then it's Mike
Not
Tyson.
get back out of the ring.
Yeah.
Left, right, left, left. What the fuck?
So that's awesome. I'm looking forward to hearing that second
Hell yeah.
episode. And all of our listeners, make sure you go over and subscribe to Growcast. I'd say we have
podcast.
I'd say we have a bunch of stoners listening to our.
I'd say a good majority. Because motherfuckers.
As you said, we've mentioned it, like weed and cannabis type stuff on our show. We try and keep people informed, which is a big part of the reason I wanted to have you on.
Sure.
And,
yes, man.
And hopefully we can enlighten some people who might not understand cannabis or cannabis culture nearly as much. Maybe all they're seeing is the stuff that Big Mike's putting out with the strippers.
Sure, man. Yeah, no, that's definitely the case. But I think especially where I'm from, man, there's a lot of secret stoners. Some covert potheads, and they're definitely coming out of the woodwork. I'm a regular ass dude. I'm just trying not to break the goddamn law. I just want to have a one hitter every once in a while. So I think that will really help change the perception when they realize that Uncle Tim smokes a little weed and he's just fine. So
yeah, I think closet smokers are everywhere in this country because they have to be closet smokers because they're everyday normal people, teachers, everything.
When you end up having to get drug tested for like a simple job like fast food or something,
right? Yeah,
people are worried about it over stupid reasons.
Yeah.
You're gonna fuck up the fryer if you're high. No, I would argue that if you got a fry cook job, you need some weed to kind of help you get through the day.
Oh, hell
you know what I mean?
Fuck yeah.
Just
how
to
many
show
jobs
up.
out there would you need weed? I mean, come on, construction. Jesus Christ.
Absolutely, dude. Anything with customer service.
Get in that heavy machinery. I don't care how many blunts you say.
Maybe that's the one thing.
You got that wrecking ball. Don't you worry.
You swing that fucking crane.
Hell yeah.
All of our construction worker listeners out there.
No.
There was one thing that you had mentioned on your podcast about weed sort of going the direction of wine, and I feel like that would help the stigma a lot more.
Definitely,
in terms of like getting the image out there for weed to be a little bit better.
Man, there are connoisseurs of this plant, and I would argue, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I would argue there are more intricacies to the marijuana plant than there are the grape.
Without a doubt, I agree to you.
Fuck you, Napa. Take that shit.
Yeah.
You're gonna come after me, man.
I get a lot of fucking wine from Napa too. Like that's crazy.
Actually, yeah. So I definitely think that connoisseurs could legitimize this industry a little bit. It's good shit, man. It's all different. It's all, that high quality stuff is high quality stuff. It's boutique. That's what I like to call it.
It's like the stuff that you'd get in Humboldt versus, say, South Africa from a cab driver.
Yeah, exactly. South African cab driver Harry. That's right.
Harry was trying his best.
Dude, Harry came through.
Harry did it more than his best. He fucking straight up told a dealer that shit, man. I'm not giving you money. That's legit, and it wasn't even his money.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point, man. That's what I'm saying. Harry was a cool.
That's a good man. That's why I want to meet him. I need to go. I need to go find this guy.
Matt's booking a trip to South Africa.
I'm going to South Africa. I'm out of here.
I highly recommend.
We'll try and put up a little tribute to Harry on the social media once this comes out.
Yes, please have a nod to Harry. If there was a whole society made up of Harrys, communism would work. He's just a good guy who looks out for other people.
comes back with your money, man.
That's right.
That's something you don't hear.
It's true, man.
Yeah. If that was America, you were done.
Yeah, I don't want to get off on a whole tangent here, but African people are maybe the happiest, nicest people that I've ever met. I've been around the world a little bit, and African people are just so fucking nice, man. So that's truth.
That's
right
awesome.
There.
Yeah, that's really nice, man.
My sister's actually going to I think it was Zimbabwe.
Oh, no
this
shit.
summer. To
Nice.
go help people and stuff. So
that's awesome.
That's good to hear.
That's awesome. That's great stuff. I love it.
So bud being what it is, we say how complex and intricate it can be. All the different tastes, all the different THC levels versus CBD levels, and what you're going to get out of each of them.
Indica versus sativa. Oh my God, however you want to look at it, it's more than wine, people. There needs to be more connoisseurs.
Yeah, I think so.
Now it begs the question: with someone that has the knowledge that you have about bud, what is your favorite if you had to pick?
Favorite to smoke or to grow or both?
Let's hear all of them. I wanna pick your brain.
Okay. Favorite plant I've ever grown is a strain called Corkle, and Corkle was short and stubby, which is what you want, and just purple out the wazoo. It was like a swirl of tie-dyed purple deliciousness. So that would be my favorite one to grow.
I've seen some Corkle days.
Corkle days. That's interesting.
Yeah. It was like, I'm guessing it would be like a diesel and haze, and then that mixed with a Corkle would be Corkle days.
Right.
That's like, the names, we'll get into names in a second here.
Yeah, we will, because I got some stuff to say about that. But as far as my favorite personally, probably Granddaddy Purple. It's pretty easy to find, but it's not super mainstream, and I just love the way it tastes. Granddaddy Purple is one of my big suggestions. But I got to tell you, man, indica, sativa, purple, red, green, it affects everybody differently. I don't like when people say, "Oh, I would like the sativa because I want it to make me feel a certain way." I think that you really should try a lot of different strains and find out what works for you. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, Granddaddy Purple, go to. Love that strain.
See, yeah, that's hard in New York, man.
Yeah, right.
You get what you get.
What you get. Exactly. So you're probably running into the stuff that's grown a lot. Like OG is probably the most grown plant. At least a couple years ago.
See, Diesel's my favorite because it's the easiest for me to recognize, like, without a doubt, like, the smell, the taste, like, it's just, like, I always know it's consistent with the, like, way it like, affects me.
Right.
Like, I've always loved it.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, it's, like, purple could be just a variety of anything. It could be misgrown bud. It could be,
it's a lot of Canadian stuff coming into New York.
It's really
luckily.
funny. Because there is like a stereotype, not a stereotype, but kind of a truth that New Yorkers love diesel. All the diesel goes all the way east for some reason.
Really?
So funny,
yeah,
really?
Because both,
it's all going to this guy right here. I'll tell you.
Both me and Matt are big fans of diesel.
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
man.
both from New
That's
York
funny.
originally.
Like, yeah, if people had it, man, I was there. Like, that's the one type I really love.
I believe that's 100% sativa. Huge
Should I say
nuggets.
dead ass? Would that be too New York? I mean, I don't know.
Dead ass.
Dead ass, man.
So the old GDP and Corkle, huh?
Yeah, and I also love to smoke Corkle, but those
All
are
right,
those are two great ones.
I'm just gonna admit it. I've never heard of this Corkle.
I've seen it. I don't think I've tried it myself.
I don't know if you want to
craziness.
get into to the strain names here, but it's out of control. I'll tell you what. There's no keeping track of it anymore. People are breeding their own strains as we speak across the globe, giving them new names. People are
just making
getting
it up.
pounds. People are getting pounds from out west and just changing the name, saying it might sell better if it's Candy Puff or if it's OG Kush, even though it's not really OG Kush.
P-Weed Herman.
So you don't know what you're getting. Certain things you're like, okay, this is Sour Diesel, this is Blue Dream, this is OG. Certain things you will recognize if you've had it in the past. But it's a free-for-all out there when it comes to strains, man.
It's like a cage match.
Yeah, Jesus.
Well,
fucking WWE.
Yeah, well, that's the question.
Slightly less aggressive.
Yeah. Are the winners, are the cream of the crop strains going to win out, or is everybody going to have their personal favorite, and there's going to be a zillion, or will someone rise to the top like a Macho Man Randy Savage type situation?
Right?
Macho Man. First reference on the podcast.
Yes. Honored.
I'd imagine the more it became available in a normal matter, like, dispensaries in all states, then it would become like craft beer and wine where people all develop their unique taste for a brand, let alone a strain,
Yeah, that makes sense. And there's a lot of different microbreweries, so we might be looking at a lot of different strains. Who knows what that number kind of evens out to.
Now, I have to ask, because I saw this thing recently. Do you watch Vice at all?
I don't.
Okay, there was a piece that they did on landrace seeds. Where it's like seeds that have been quarantined. I remember I talked to you about this, Matt. Yes. The seeds that were quarantined from like any other crop.
Yep. Yeah, they're pure strains, I guess you could say. Now, I always thought it was landrace. Is it landrace or landrace?
I'm not sure. I hear things wrong a lot.
I don't know a lot about the subject, so you should take this with a grain of salt. But I do know that there is no such thing as wild cannabis anymore. At least there are very, very high doubts about it. my cannabis timeline episode shows that we've had our hands on cannabis sativa of one form since 29,000 BC. I'm sorry, 27,000 BC, 29,000 years ago, which is incredible. So basically anything you find in the wild is going to be escaped cultivated. Now, as far as a landrace strain, maybe they've had their hands on this, you know, and they haven't crossbred it with anything. But again, what did the guy do before it, you know? So it's one thing if it's undiscovered to the west.
It's like a chicken and the egg thing. There has to be
there has to be
an egg at some point.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about landrace strains, but there are definitely strains that are undiscovered in the West. Maybe some Cambodian killer, some Khmer Rouge Kush type situation going on.
Oh my God!
Because the person they followed these guys to Africa. I'm not sure exactly where, but it was like deep. I think it was near the Congo, because they said they went deep into the jungles. They had to have a guide, and then they pretty much bribed a chief of this one tribe to allow him access to these fields of cannabis that their tribe had been growing.
Let's talk about that. Then obviously it's been cultivated for quite some time by those people. So you know, it isn't truly untouched, but it's completely untouched to the massive Western cannabis industry.
It's like in its own biosphere, so it's not being crossbred with anything else.
And it's organic, most importantly.
Yeah, it's got that Congo leopard shit, probably growing some killer weed.
Right? So they, I mean, it was controversial though too, because the guys that were going there are, I forget what country they're from, but they own a cannabis company where they're essentially trying to stock up on these seeds that are super rare so that they can crossbreed and create their own, like, the more of those they have, the more they can crossbreed and have these Quirkle Dazes and Granddaddy Perp Diesels.
Well, yeah,
you know?
we're running out of strains. People are making them so fast that there's only so many things you can cross with, I guess you could say, and that's obviously a bit of an exaggeration. But yeah,
well,
there's
I mean,
a lot
with
of
probability, you know, it's a large number, but it's a finite number.
Yeah, it's true, and there's a lot of money and a lot of versatility and options when it comes to genetics. The geneticists are some of the most interesting people that you'll find in the grow world. Not my thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard. It really is really hard to be a geneticist. But yeah,
creating mutations and whatnot.
And I mean, hell, to even get to that field, those guys had to, like, you know, fly to Africa, have some guide take them to, like, I think they went to like 4 fields that had nothing at first. It was just like rumored that it was there, and then finally the 5th one, they found the tribe, bribed the dude. They're sitting there harvesting all the seeds they can, and all the tribe members started getting pissed and wanted to kill him because they realized, like, we're not getting anything out of this.
Fuck that, man. I'll stick with my Granddaddy Purple. Thank you very much.
Right.
I don't want to get beheaded. You know, I'd like some African weed, but if there's a chance of me being beheaded, then I'm out of there.
No, you don't want to fight a guy with a machete for some special weed seeds?
Dude, he's been using that machete his whole life. He's gonna walk through me like some fucking sugarcane.
That's like that's like Indiana Jones or something right there.
Totally.
Yeah.
It'd be like Indiana Joints.
Indiana Jones,
if you smoke it.
The Temple of Kush, something like that.
Sounds like a bad
Jock,
movie.
light the blood! Light the blood!
Oh, Jesus
So we've
Christ.
got a little game for you to play, Jordan. And Matt, you want to
I'm
explain
going to give you a name, and you're going to tell me if this name is either a strain of weed or a destination.
Okay.
All right.
I love it. Love it.
So, first up at bat, Oaxacan Highland. Oh, Oaxacan, whatever.
It's got that Mexican
whatever.
OAX.
I'm going destination on that one.
I'll blame
just
it
'cause
on the
I got a
graph.
hunch.
Going destination.
Yes.
You are incorrect, sir. It is weed.
Wow. That is very interesting because I know Oaxaca is a like region of Mexico, so I thought for sure. Wow.
We made these tricky on you.
So wait, what
Since
am I playing for?
We know you know a lot, so we got to make
losing
it hard.
points? Yeah, if I lose the game, then you guys just shut me off and you don't release the episode. So
Yeah, exactly. The public will never hear
Trash
this.
it. Delete it.
all right, 0 for 1.
Black Forest.
Oh, that's a destination in France.
Germany. But you got it right anyway.
No, friend. You're right, Germany. You're right. all right.
He's going for bonus points with
think I
guessing the
smoked-
destination here.
I know, right? You get the destination, then you get a bonus point for real.
Okay, right on.
Lebanese.
Lebanese. Now there's a Lebanon, but I'm gonna go just by the name. I'm gonna go cannabis strain.
Without a doubt.
There you go.
All right, I'm up.
That was a give me.
All right.
Keep it coming.
This one, Tunnel of Love.
Tunnel of Love. Oh, I feel like that could be both. I'm going Destination.
Correct, sir. Ukraine. Do exactly what I said.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that could be both. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I'm on a roll here. I'm feeling it. Bring it on.
Okay. Another give me. We'll see. Taj Mahal.
Oh, now I definitely feel like that could be both, but we'll go Destination on that one.
Of course it is.
There you go. You know what? I searched some websites just to double check on a lot of these, and there's no one's named a weed Taj Mahal. That one's still up for grabs.
Man, someone's got to do that with some Indian strain or some like Afghani
I want to
style.
try some Taj Mahal.
That is a great idea. All right, I'm stealing that one. My next strain.
There you go.
Taj Mahal.
Okay.
You got to send us some. That's all we're asking.
Hell yeah.
Tahoe.
Tahoe's a place, man. Come on, I'm from California. Destination.
It's both, motherfucker. Trick question.
What the? Oh, what the? My head just exploded.
You got Tahoe. You got Tahoe OG.
Oh, I've totally seen Tahoe OG. Yeah, that was too quick of a one. You totally got me there. Should have thought that one through.
I had to throw a trick one in there. Come on now. I gave you some give me's. You didn't think there was going to be a trick?
Totally.
Come on now.
Yeah, I should have seen.
Yeah,
the switch from the
we'll
bait.
give you that because technically you're right. There's one more there though. Did you see that
I wanted to switch it up. I didn't want to end on a trick.
Okay, cool.
Molokai Frost.
Now I've been to Molokai. It's an island in Hawaii, and I've never heard of Molokai Frost because it's in Hawaii. I'm going weed name.
You are correct, sir.
Nice.
We got a winner.
So
We got a winner. Yes.
you got 6 out of 7. Very good.
Yeah,
All right,
that's the
not
best
bad.
on any game show we've ever had here.
You
Right on. Yeah.
You've lived up to your reputation of
Thank you.
knowing your weed shit.
Yeah. Wish I would have thought of that Tahoe, but that's all right. Little bit pride hurt there, but that's okay.
Yeah, we had to,
Yeah, we're throwing that in to screw with you.
we had to make sure you weren't going to get a perfect score. Nobody gets a perfect score.
Understand?
Nobody.
I get it. Only the slackers get a perfect score.
Not even us, apparently.
Not even us. Believe me.
I tanked the last time I
Yeah.
had to play a game.
I think I lost all the games. I don't even know at this point.
I almost goose egged it.
Goose egg. Well, yeah, like your last episode, Iron Claw Macaw. I was listening to you guys, man. You guys are fucking funny.
Ah,
well,
thank you.
Thank you very much,
Yeah,
sir.
man.
We appreciate that.
I like how you review Xbox Gold games. And
Yeah,
the free
man.
ones.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Like, people are
that's
going to
legit.
be, if they have the system, you might as well pick up something free.
And there's so many coming through that I need someone to weed through them. You know what I mean?
Hell
We
yeah.
play shitty games so you don't have to.
Exactly.
yeah.
Mainly Jesse.
Absolutely.
Jesse's really good at ripping through on speed runs, so
Hell
you can
yeah.
thank Jesse mainly here.
What are some
I
of the
try.
best?
I mean, I have the time, so why not?
What are some of the best free gold games you've played?
That's a good question.
Heavy Weapon was pretty cool. That was sort of like a throwback. It reminded me of Metal Slug.
Yeah.
I mean, Metal Slug's way better, but this
Yeah.
definitely had that sort of feel to it. You're like a tank, and it was very arcadey. You're just like shooting shit the entire time.
I'm going to
Right
say
on.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag is probably one of the best ones they've ever given away.
They gave away Black Flag?
That was a while back, yeah. They gave away the 360 version.
Fucking hey, dude. I paid a bunch of money for that shit.
Oh, dude, it's such a good
Same with
game.
me.
Yeah, I bought it before it came out for free, but I got rid of it, so it was like nice to get it back for free.
Yeah. At a certain point, I was just riding around, shooting, like having ship battles over
Oh, dude,
and
that's
over and
that's
over.
all I do in that game. Come on.
Yeah, got a little maddening, but I'm gonna pick it up again soon.
Yeah, we'll have some more games with gold coming out in one of the next 2 episodes this coming month.
Yep.
Hell yeah, love it.
It's about that time. And I think we
Loving
have an
it,
yeah.
Assassin's Creed in there somewhere, too.
I think, yeah, the next one is coming up is an Assassin's Creed title.
Well, how do you rank the Assassin's Creed games? Because I have the super unpopular opinion that the first one is the best one.
I see, and I can agree with that because of storyline.
Oh, absolutely.
The way that game
Absolutely.
ends and you figure out that this guy is like literally an assassin, it's like, whoa, this is fucking awesome. Like, it was just movie quality. Like, I remember being like, this needs to be made into a movie, and now I see this movie, and this movie's shit.
Oh no, yeah, I avoided that. I imagined the train wreck in my head.
Yeah. Oh my god. I couldn't even make it through the whole thing. I was watching it at home, and Yeah, it's just a fucking disgrace to the series. Assassin's Creed 1 through 2, the storyline's perfect. After that, it gets a little weak for a bit, but Black Flag is by far probably like one of the most fun ones to play.
I was going to say the further along in the series they get, the more like Grand Theft Auto it becomes.
Yeah, don't play the small ones like the Chinatown one or whatever it was.
It's like you could play the plot, or do you want to go have ship battles and fucking hunt monkeys? Like,
Right.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Yeah, true.
It's like I think I'm gonna go hunt monkeys. Like,
yeah.
go fucking pick jaguars off with a pistol. I mean, that's what I like doing in a lot of those games, and it moved a lot further away from the plot.
That's true.
Well, there's
I do
only
like
so
the
much
plot-heavy
Templars versus fucking Assassins you can do here.
Right. I just think they lost it with the Native American. I think that
Oh,
was 3.
dude, right?
That was the
I
worst
never
one,
played
right?
that
It
one.
was with Connor. It was really weird. It was
Super weird.
There wasn't a lot of buildings, so you like really couldn't run around on building tops and shit. It was kind of fucking odd.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I don't want to digress you guys too bad on Assassin's Creed here, but I could go for a while. So we
Oh,
should
dude, it's a
probably-
great series.
it's up to you
I
guys.
mean,
Yeah.
regardless of the
it's
shitty ones that have come
definitely.
out, I mean, there's a story there that's amazing.
Yeah,
It's so unique.
Totally. It's actually interesting because they're trying to figure out essentially what is fiction in that game. Genetic memories, being able to find the memories of your ancestors within your genes. They're actually like working on that right now. Which
Yes.
is very trippy.
Oh yeah. It's insane, man.
It's
That's
trippy.
gonna shame some people.
Some things are
man.
meant to be left in history.
My great grandfather was an asshole.
I come from a line of
We got
pieces
proof.
of shit.
Get dangerous with that animus.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't post that one in the Assassin's Creed series. The guy who comes in and he just comes from a long line of thieves and losers and racists.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, we're gonna send you back. Please don't. I don't want to be him again. Everyone hated him.
Oh God.
All right.
Like you're gonna have shit thrown at you by the town peasants, but you need to like complete your mission.
Of shoveling shit.
fuck.
You got to finish shoveling the shit that's being thrown at you.
Like the shittiest bloodline that ever existed in the world.
Assassin's Creed Brown Blood Stream.
Oh.
Sorry guys.
That seems like a good note to end the show.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So do we have any plugs that you want to put out there, sir?
Growcastpodcast.com. Check out our secret recipes. Contact us with your questions. That's the biggest thing I'm pushing right now. Grow questions. Any questions. Me, Wolfman, Roscoe, we'll get back to you. At Growcast Podcast on Twitter. Definitely check that out. We're up on YouTube. Give us a good review on iTunes. That's how you could really help us, is shoot over there and give us a good review. Maybe you slackers could shoot
We'll be
over
over there,
after the
sir.
show.
Don't you worry about that.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, that's about it. And I just want to thank you guys, Slackers, for having me on your podcast. It was a lot of fun, and I'm going to continue to listen to you guys as you evolve.
Oh, same with you, man. We're definitely into your concept. Your fucking show is solid. It is.
Thank you.
I'm
it's
learning
highly
stuff
entertaining, man.
every time.
Yeah, man. Between like the funniness of it and the fucking learning, it's perfect, man.
I appreciate that a lot, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love you're not afraid to rip out a bong too. A lot of people will get.
Hell
you
yeah.
know.
I think
That's
I'll
up.
begin that as soon as this show ends.
Nice.
There you go.
And if you want to check us out, people, get out our Facebook and our Insta, American Slacker Podcast, and also check out our main hub, AmericanSlackerPodcast.wordpress.com.
You can email us, AmericanSlackerPodcast@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter and Reddit at AMERSLKR. That's Amer Slacker Podcast. Rate and review us on iTunes. As you do, and then go over to Growcast and rate and review them on iTunes.
Yeah, just,
Yes.
yeah, make haste. You're there anyway. And we all know, again, there's no other option besides a 5-star. The 4, the 3,
True.
they don't even click. So just
Unacceptable.
take our word for it, hit the 5-star, and put
Or
something
we're coming
positive
over.
down there.
So, we are also on YouTube now. Something you can do is when you're suggesting our show to a friend, if they're not into podcasts, tell them to go check out our YouTube. Search American Slacker Podcast. We have a whole playlist there. You can listen to our episodes.
At ease. And also, we have a Spotify playlist. All the music that we feature on this show, you can go check out on Spotify. Just search American Slacker Podcast.
We're almost done. Become a Patreon sponsor. If you sponsor the show for just $1, we'll give you a shout out. For $5, we'll answer your question, legally binding, answering any question that you may ask us. We would really appreciate it. You know, we put out 4. If it's going to be 5 this month with this bonus episode, so it equates to about 20 cents per episode. If you think we're worth that for the hour or so that we put out per show, you know, give us some love over on the Patreon.
Mm-hmm. And if you think we should shut the fuck up and not talk about these plugs, our personal Instagrams for you to message us. Mine is MWG Media.
And mine is Landers the Plane. You can use all kinds of expletives in the DMs.
Yeah, but come on, let's be nice people. Let's not go that route.
I don't know. They might be having a bad day. They just
all
need to take it out
right. We double as therapists. If you're having that kind of day, we are available.
Oh no, I'm dishing it back. We're getting in an argument.
We're not the traditional therapists. We're gonna tell you how it is.
We're gonna fight out in the schoolyard.
We'll give you a place to meet us by the flagpole, of course. Be there or be.
I'm going there right after this podcast. Shirt's coming off.
Oh, the shirt's off, people.
Jordan, thank you again.
Thank you, sir. You guys are hilarious. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, man. It was
Absolutely.
lovely to have you, sir. And I guess that's it.
There you go.
Right on.
No, I wasn't recording the whole time.
Fuck you, dude. Don't.